Hello, Mr. Jones.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good to see you.
Doing good, man.
Well,
How are you? How are you?
I'm doing great.
Man, thanks for hopping on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this one. I guess I met you on TikTok on one of your lives through probably through through Talbo, but
Oh yeah. It was on one of his lives, I believe. So yeah, it's awesome to get to know y'all and met a few through you as well. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, and you probably shouldn't say thanks until the end because, I mean, it's not a lot of pressure, but sometimes people leave and they don't say thanks. So, and it's understandable. So, just fair warning.
Hey, no worries there.
Understandable. So, no.
as we were saying, man, I appreciate you hopping on the show and everything. I know we've kind of been waiting for like a month or so, so I'm glad to finally get you on.
Yeah, again, I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
I guess Talbo, you kind of, I guess we'll give you kind of let you tell everybody where you're from and just kind of a quick introduction to yourself a little bit.
Yeah. So I go by Copperhead Jones. I grew up in Florida. I've been out here in Texas since 2020. Doing my thing in music since the end of 21. And I do country rock. I stick to my roots. I grew up on Skinner and all kinds of stuff in the Southeast. And I moved out here and started doing Texas country stuff and got a little bit of that influence in my music, just a touch, because I didn't hear any of it before. It's pretty. Texas is very different musically with its culture. So there's a lot of songs, a lot of artists I didn't hear about before. So it was really cool, like getting in the scene head first with basically not understanding the scene at all to begin with. I'm in it.
Mm-hmm. What was going on like in Florida compared to what time period, I guess, are we talking on this when you were in Florida and then when you got to Texas? When did you get to Texas?
So I moved around a lot. I first moved to Texas in 2017. I took an 18-month hiatus back to Florida between that, from 2017 to today.
Got you.
Was in the Navy. I lived out in California, San Diego for 4 years, and basically went to high school, middle school, all that. Basically 12 to 18, I lived in Florida, lived in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I moved around a lot as a kid. So that's kind of the time frames there.
Yeah. When you got to Texas, what was some of the? You remember what some of the first music was of that kind of lane that you found that you stumbled on?
Absolutely, yeah. So Stoney LaRue, never heard of him. And when I say that to people here, they're like, "Are you crazy? Like, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "I'm telling you guys, no one in Florida knows who Stoney LaRue is, and he's awesome. It's a shame, but I really like his stuff." And there's just a ton of artists. There's a ton of artists in the scene that have been popping off lately too. You know, like Coetzel, he's been huge here for how long? Not many people knew who he was in Florida. Anytime these bands are awesome, and talking about Florida fans, Florida friends and family, they'd be like,
It's the same. It's the same here in Tennessee. So I mean, when you got to reach that another level before they start to really pay attention or know who you are. You know, even if you're not on the radio yet, but you got to get onto that Childers or Red Clay Strays or whatever level before people start really paying attention. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Texas is really cool about that. I don't think there's another state that I've been to personally where they support music at the lower level. And they really do. That's not a thing in Florida. Like, they're like, "Oh yeah, you gotta have a following." I was like, "A following? Like, I'm not gonna have a following until I'm like Luke Combs. What are you talking about following?"
Right.
So
Well, there's a
not that I would be that or whatever, but it's really cool. The folks in Texas are awesome and they love music. And they've been very supportive of me so far.
Cool. Yeah, there's a reason, no disrespect to Michigan, but they don't call it Michigan country music, right? Like, whatever. But, I mean, it's a thing. You got to be here to probably understand it, but it's getting easier for everybody to find it now with obviously the spread of social and folks just popping up on your feed. You're like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then, so I guess one of my questions, I know you have a lot of things going on. You've got new songs out. Talking about the next album, kind of your strategies there. Anything that you want to share with us about what's going on in your world?
Yeah. So strictly musically speaking, releases and stuff. I just released a song last Friday called Thunderbird. It's a country rock song. That's what I do. You either love it or you hate it. Hopefully it's the other. And
For sure.
I just released that one, and that one's a cool one. It's like a cool story. And then we're working on the studio. We're working in the studio on my full length album. Hoping to drop that around the January timeframe, and then we're just going to be pushing the crap out of that, and hopefully something takes off. And that's kind of the goal. But yeah, we're really making I'm doing a self-titled album. So my first album, I've already done an album before for the normal. It's called Anchor, and that was basically an album that kind of came together by mistake. The way I came into music is not the way most people would. My wife basically said, "Hey, happy Father's Day. Here's 4 hours of recording studio time. Go do something with it." I was like, "Okay, cool." So that led in another. Then I got the bug. Then I recorded. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna record an album. Like, this is cool. And I had no direction. I have all these songs. There was no like musical like branding. Like, I wasn't trying to be commercial with it. It was just like, this is what I want to do. This is fun. I'm not trying to make a career out of it, but let's do it. I did my first album. It's all over the place, musically, all over the place. Which I think it's cool. Like having the same. I don't know. If you want to be commercial in this, you got to have some kind of a similar sound to what you're doing. You can't throw people off like crazy, but that first album's kind of cool. I got to say, you know what? I don't care. I'm doing what I want and do a bunch of stuff. Right. Now that I've been doing this for a while and I started gigging, because I started gigging after the fact, not before, which is also backwards. I have decided, I know based on my album what did well, what I like, what my influences are. My song "No One Give It Up" was the album favorite, and that's the hardest hitting country rock song that I had on the album. So I'm like, that's what we're doing. We're gonna go country rock, and so now I'm gonna have a self-titled album. And that reason being, when you do that, they say this is kind of, hey, this is who I am. I discovered my sound. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. So we're gonna have my self-titled album coming in January.
Nice. Can you talk a little bit about the journey of I guess finding your sound, in terms of kind of getting to that little edgier side of country? Because it sounds like, well, I mean, at least from what I know, it didn't exactly start there.
Yeah. So it's a journey. It may be a long-winded answer, so bear with me. So I grew up on like Southern rock, classic rock. That's what my dad made me grow up on, and that's what I actually really liked and loved. I got Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, the Allman Brothers, Leonard Root section, and then throw in, I'm about 30, so the '90s country scene was popping when I was a kid, so we were all jamming to that. Throw a mix of that in there, and then also let's throw in some Creed and Three Doors Down, like.
There you go.
And that's what I grew up on, and that's what I loved, and I still love that music today. But anyways, I came out here, so keep that in mind. So I come out here to Texas, and it's all honky tonk, and this is the stage of my life where I'm like really digging into old country. Wasn't really influenced by that at all. My dad didn't listen to old country much. No one in my family did. It was all Southern rock, the rockers. So started digging into like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and the whole outlaw movement. Pretty cool stuff. I like this. And then we started going from there. So a lot of my music was honky tonk ish inspired. And as you can tell by the No One Giving Up song, if you listen to it, there's no stopping my previous influences from getting into my stuff as well. So,
Right.
Again, with No Direction, I got a rockabilly song called Lonesome Shadow in that album to more traditional country, to a honky tonk island song, like what a Kenny Chesney would write. So it was just, like I said, all over the map. And I love all music. Like as a consumer, I love almost everything. I have taste, but genre-wise, I like most stuff. I'm not one of those snobby people about that. I just like it all.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's way more fun.
It's way more fun to be diverse like that instead of being like, I only like this specific set of music, this specific set of music within that music, and then within that music, it's like you get, you know what I'm talking about. People get really.
Absolutely.
I just personally like that you threw Atlanta Rhythm section in there with the Skynyrd and Led Zeppelin and all that. I wasn't expecting that one. I was expecting like Skynyrd, Molly Hatchet, you know.
Oh yeah.
All the hell yeah bands, and then Atlanta Rhythm section was you know, one of these things is not like the other, which is cool. You know.
Well, my dad ended up playing drums for them, filling in every once in a while for the Atlanta Rhythm section. So.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I always throw them in. Yeah, they're Southern rock, but they're a whole different style of Southern rock.
For sure.
Right.
And they're not very well known. Like anybody can name drop Leonard Skinner, but yeah, I love Southern rock. Leonard Skinner, boom. You throw that in there, it's kind of, I don't know. They're cool.
From the time period, a lot more people knew them if they were in that vein of music, you know, younger. But no, they don't. There's not a band you're going to hear on classic rock radio very often.
No.
So, yeah.
No, you're not. Yeah, my dad.
You should, but you're right.
Sure.
Right. Well, we have that argument all the time about all kinds of music that should be available to listen to on the radio. That's not the songs that don't. You know, they've only got 50 or 60 to play, so it adds up pretty fast.
Radio's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off on your when you were talking about your sound. Yeah.
This is your fault.
No.
I'm just here, so you cut me off whenever.
I just wanted to point out that that I like the being diverse like that, and then also a lot of the folks we've had on from Texas have had diverse albums. It seems like this is. I don't know if this is a trend in Texas or just happened to be a trend on the show, but there's been several folks that have been on that some that pride themselves on not being in a lane necessarily. But I know that's not necessarily everyone's direction, but it has been something we've talked about quite a bit.
Yeah. I think the Texas live music scene or Texas country or whatever, I mean, it's a pretty broad umbrella. And part of that is there's quite a few folks out there in the water. So you as an artist, I think to a certain extent, you have to find your lane because just on a per capita basis, and I know we've got 25 million people in the state or whatever, but you've got several pretty good sized cities in the state and some pretty vibrant live music scenes and a lot of folks with a lot of talent. So you have to, at least from a consumer standpoint, you have to be able to differentiate yourself from the rest of the crowd because there are a lot of folks out there, in that kind of traditional country, Texas country sound, and there's only so many of those spots to go around.
100%, and that's a big reason why I broke away from that. I like it, but I did notice that there's Well, first off, I felt like I didn't grow up like on a ranch. I didn't grow up like that, and it's not like you can be from New York City and love the crap out of country music, right?
Sure.
But as an artist coming from New York City, and now you're going to sing about tractors and cows. It's like, no, that's stupid. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I love country music. I love traditional country music. And Cody Johnson is actually probably one of my favorite artists. He does it well, so well. And but no, I decided to step away. Everybody's doing that here, and it was just the Waylon Jennings songs over and over and over again, and they all kind of blend together with my like what I was trying to do. So I said, you know what, we're just going to do rock. We're going to do country rock, and we're going to swing the pendulum probably a little too far to the rock side, but we'll come back in the middle. So that's what I did. That's exactly what I did, and it's been working out. I've been playing electric on stage when I play live a lot more now, and really giving them like what I grew up on with some modernness to it, some southern rock, some '90s rock, like the Three Doors Down stuff. Try to just blend it all in, make my own unique sound based on what I grew up with, while still diversifying as much as I think you can get away with.
Right.
When you diversify like that, it's awesome. Like, I bet you talk to any musician, they'd be like, if I could, I would do all kinds of stuff all over the place. A lot of them would say that.
For sure.
But no, it's not smart to do that.
Not always great business.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm almost having to start over since last year when I first came out with the song "The Creek." I started working over at Steel Records Studios, and they really helped bring that rock edge to my music. Because the last song I did, I submitted to radio, was "Cold Years and Tight Lines," which is a very honky tonk island song. So I've already, from the get-go, kind of had to wipe the slate clean, start over, and that's why I'm making a big deal about this album, making a big deal about all these songs coming out, because this is really reflective of me going forward.
I was just going to ask about, you said that after you did the studio time first, you put the music together first, and then you started performing live. You said that was backwards. I guess when you first started gigging like that, how did that go, and how is it different from then to now for you? I mean, I know you had to learn a lot, but as you went, but
so the idea was, this is fun, and I made an album. It was actually halfway through the album, and I was over at Forward Sound, and I was talking to the producer and some other guys in the room. And I was like, yeah, man, it'd be cool to like sell these songs one day. Like, I didn't think I'd make it. Like, I didn't think I'd go and do this, all of that. And I have my own personal reasons for not wanting to go out. I actually suffered a brain injury while I was in the Navy, and it makes it incredibly, almost impossible difficult to memorize lyrics. Now, memorizing my own lyrics is another thing, but doing that 3-hour cover set, oh my gosh, that just gave me anxiety out of that. So I been talking about that. They're like, dude, people may give you crap about it. Throw an iPad up there, just get going. It's better than sitting here being scared. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. So I sat up there, did my acoustic sets, and then started learning to get away from the book a little bit more and trying to engage better, just learning. And man, I was hooked. I thought I like performing. That's what I love. I love to perform. And then I started the band thing, and that was a whole nightmare, trying to figure that out with hired guns and knowing like what rehearsal is, and like I literally know nothing. I don't like it was a wreck. But through all that, it's been awesome. And now, like, I absolutely love playing full band shows, and we all love it, and we're big fans on stage.
do you feel like you've learned a lot more Are you even more comfortable doing your solo shows now since you've been around the band guys also?
Oh yeah, so there was never really like an issue of being nervous. I've always kind of performed in some facility,
I got you.
in high school, like talent shows and stuff like that. I've always kind of performed, but doing like I like to be professional. I have a standard I set myself to, and I didn't want to go in there and just be like, okay, this is karaoke here. I'm just some dude up here on a stage. Like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to know what song, how long it's going to take. I'm going to do my research. Like, I put a lot of like thought into doing even the first gig, in the booking,
Right.
and then you get into the politics of everything, and like how do I sound? Where's my how do I sound at this bar? Like, will they like me? Will they not? How to get a crowd? And I'm still learning. I have so much more to learn. But that's kind of how it all came to be.
Yeah, so I'm the only one who doesn't perform in front of people. So I gotta imagine it's kind of like, drinking out of a fire hose when you first get started. I mean, I don't have any other real way to describe what I think it's like, but I'm sure it's just everything going at once, right?
Yeah.
It's getting out of
You
your,
can say
getting out
no,
of your
I just-
own way.
Meaner,
No,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
Like me, I don't like if people stare at me. Like I don't care because you know why? I know 9 out of the 10 people in this bar, restaurant, whatever, they're all thinking like, oh my god, I could never get on stage and do that. That kind of gives me comfort. If everybody else is like, yeah, they would all be scared to death up here. So whatever, we're all gonna be scared together, and it'll be all right.
Yeah, it took a long time for me to get to that point, to finally realize that, hey, just starting to do this is already a leg up on
Yeah.
a lot of people that and a lot of people that might be more talented than me. They just won't do it. So
a
just
big
doing
jump.
it is already a start, So
Do you mind telling us a little bit about your crowdfunding exercise? I know I'm familiar with a few bands that have gone that direction, but in terms of this new album, I know you've got some crowdfunding going on. So what was the thought process and kind of how was that going? How can folks help support you?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, I'm doing a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. It's under Copperhead Jones. There is a link in my bio on my TikTok, so if you're interested to check that out, go ahead and follow me. I'd appreciate it, and check that out under my bio. It's on Instagram as well, and basically, if you're following me, you're gonna see it because I have to push it like crazy. It's not an easy exercise, and it's all or nothing. Either I hit my goal or everybody gets refunded. So it's kind of it's a stressful thing to try to get done. So I'm hoping to get some help. And the reason why is so I was doing great, doing my music thing, really growing, building momentum. I was being more active on socials and all that. So I had an injury. I had complete reconstructive foot surgery while I was in the Navy, and it didn't go well. So it gave me like a lot of bad arthritis in my ankles. But with that, about 10 years later, so we're talking February of this year, I pushed through the pain too much because, pain weakness, moving the body, that's, well, apparently that's not okay to do all the time. And I ended up bedridden for 3 months. Got diagnosed with CPRS, which is complex regional pain syndrome. And yeah, it was pretty bad. But through that, everything stopped. Canceled everything. I even think, they haven't told me, but I'm sure I've messed up some connections that I've had with venues. Now that the story's out, and they see that I'm not like, this is a real thing, maybe that'll change their perception. But yeah, 3 months, canceled the whole gig. I had to start all over again and start booking gigs all over again. So that's what it's for. I lost a lot of money by being down that long. So I'm just looking to kind of hopefully just get back on track to where I was. start really marketing my stuff, start really getting my stuff out there, and getting this album done.
Nice. Well, I guess my first suggestion is if you think you might be interested, first go listen to Mr. Jones's music, and if you like it, then get involved. It's probably obvious, but there is something to be said for kind of culling your own crowd. If I donate a few dollars to your campaign, I'm more tied into kind of how things are going in your world than just hey, I'm going to stream this person and I'm going to follow them, which is great. We need that too. But there is something to be said in terms of kind of, developing your herd of folks that see things the way that you do and obviously like your music. So as opposed to just kind of throwing it out there and seeing what sticks and not really having that connection with your fans or friends or whatever you want to call them.
Absolutely.
Can you explain, like, me and Talbo are fairly familiar with how that program works, but can you explain a little bit more on exactly what what people would be donating towards and what that's doing, or as far as how that site and how the program works, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. So the money is going towards producing a record, and they are not cheap. To have them done and have them done well, they are not cheap. And that's just the record alone. Then you start talking about, like, if you want to do radio promotions, it's just, I priced out the album. Like, for me to do it right, the album, for me to market it, produce it, all of that, easily $40,000 to $50,000 should be the bare minimum I should be spending on producing it and marketing it. I should be spending as much money marketing it as I am producing it. And the problem is a lot of guys, they spend all this time and money producing a record. They don't spend any time and money on marketing. So they have this great product that no one hears. And that sucks. So that's what it's for. And what the program is basically is you go in there, you check it out. You can see there's a whole video basically explaining what I'm saying right now in a little bit more effective way. And basically, I have a bunch of perks. So, basically, the simple thing is, like, you can buy a CD from me right now. You just can't get it. That helps me a lot. Like, pre-order the CD so I can use that money that I would have made on the CD after the fact now. That changes the game. Like, if you're interested in buying the CD from me, you buy it from me now for $25. We'll do that, and then I can take that money and produce it, and it helps me out so much. These big guys, they have all the cash flow they need, so they can dump in all these investments. They'll make their money on the back end. But a guy like me, a regular guy like me that's trying to do this thing, it's hard. And there's different perks on there that you can get. We have limited edition T-shirts and handwritten lyrics, and I'll come play a show at your mom's house. It's got it all. So
nice.
It's cool, and the big thing is so the goal is 22,500. We've reached, last I looked, it was 3,800, and we got to the end of the month to hit that goal, and it's all or nothing. So if you donate and we don't hit the goal, you get refunded your money back, and that's it. And I hope the other outcome is what happens, where we all get in this and we all invest in this, and I'm going to deliver for you guys that support me.
Absolutely. Well, it's exciting. We're keeping our fingers crossed for you for sure.
Thank you.
Would you want to, since we're talking about your music and everything, would it be okay to just to play part of a song or all of a song or something of that nature? I mean, I can, as far as what you actually have, your recording, your Thunderbird that just came out. Yeah. I mean, we have some folks in the chat here, and then when folks listen, we'll. All right. So I pulled it up just in case. That way, give a little taste of what you're about, man.
1978, not far from San Antonio. A bang man's crooked hand put them red letters on our door. Four-wheel smoking, it's not far. Two outlaws in the car, baby, we were gone. Oh, Thunderbird, feeling my heart in the rear view with 38 under her knee. A real Saturday night special to me. Oh, Thunderbird, give me more. Oh, baby, you're oh, baby, you're
I figured that would be a good way. We can mention country rock all you want to, you know what I mean? But yeah,
It helps to hear it.
yeah. When you actually hear the, you know,
Yeah.
it changes a lot. Changes a lot. So
Yeah,
for sure.
Anyway, so that's that's his latest song that he released called Thunderbird. So y'all definitely go check that out wherever you stream your music.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's the definition of country rock though is definitely different, even within my own sound. So that's what I'm saying. So this is probably that track specifically that you just played, Thunderbird. That's probably about as heavy as I get. I'm gonna probably keep that as like I may do that one or two more times. That kind of metalish sound. It's cool. It's fun, and it spices up the album a little bit. But for the most part, you're gonna get songs a little bit more pulled back. Or even more bluesy, like my song All Summer Long. That's straight Southern rock. Like there's no metal about that. That's just more Southern rock. But like my song Leaving This Town is a lot more pulled back and it's real, you know, I would call it more like a mainstream country rock sound.
Yeah. No, that's I like it too. I mean, it's you mentioned the Three Doors Down thing earlier, and that's kind of what would popped out first as far as that style. I mean, even the singer there has he's about as country talking as as you can get.
Yeah, Brad.
From, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, which is not a bad sound or avenue to have. So.
I've seen Three Doors Down probably 7 or 8 times. So, I mean, they got my money.
yeah, twice for me. So, definitely, and yeah, he doesn't sing like it, but when he talks, he's about as cornbread as it can get. So,
For sure.
which is okay.
Yeah.
Well, but definitely want to make sure that we don't leave anything out. I mean, we still have some questions to go and everything, but is there anything else that so far that we haven't talked about that you would like to talk about, or have we kind of covered all the bases?
I think overall, like as far as what I wanted to get out there, I've kind of said what I needed. I've said my piece. So at this
Gotcha.
point, fire away.
All right. Well, here come the weird questions. All right. So this isn't that weird, but could you take a little bit of time to talk about your team? So whether it's your band or folks that you're working with on, new album or any kind of support staff, folks that kind of help you get things done.
Absolutely. So the first one is the most important one, and that's my wife.
Well done.
She's amazing. She takes care of the kids. She lets me do my thing. I still have to work a day job, so I'm gone a lot, and we have toddlers. So it's a lot for her, and she supports me 100%. And she loves what I'm doing. She believes in me, and that's number one. And I got my brownie point. Okay, now.
There you go.
I'm kidding. We got the same thing in my wife, so she'll find that funny when she hears it later. So then definitely, like, I have some awesome songwriters I work with, Wyatt Jordan, Blake Griffin, they're great guys. And we write together. They share stuff they've written and vice versa. So that's been cool. Steel Record Studio with Kyle Roop and Luke Shively. They've been They've been phenomenal, and they're the reason why I sound the way I sound. Yeah, I have my inspiration, but they really drove it home and understood that. And we're still growing. And so, like when an artist and a producer meet, at first it's kind of hard to figure out. We're strangers, but when you become friends, when you become professionals, and you really start to build a chemistry, and they really learn about you, and you learn about them. You learn to communicate what you want better, but also they really just know. Like there's no communicating anymore for the most part. They know what artist I am. They know what to do, what not to do. So that's a whole part of this other album, right? We may have strayed a little bit, so the album's going to probably be this album's probably going to be more diverse than future albums because of that learning curve.
Right.
But I'm going to embrace it, and I like the diversity of the album, and it's not super wild all over the place, so I'll take that. And then my bandmates. So I got to say this. So drummer Brent Hand, bass player Aaron Dufresne, and electric guitar player is Jake Lane. These guys are amazing. So we were doing 2 nights a week for months, and then I got hurt in February, and then I kind of stopped, right? Well, how would it work usually in this world? And there's no hate on it. It's just business, right? But they're all hired guns, right? Sure. All right, well, and then it would be so hard for me to try to get back on my feet to find another band that clicks again. Because normally in that situation, you're down for 3 months, everybody's splitting up, that's it. There's no, because it's not like the old days with the rock bands where they're all just kind of like, stuck together and it was one thing. But we came up with a really cool strategy. So my guitar player is really big on 90s and early 2000s rock music. And like, Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers and all that stuff. So they like that. And he's always wanted to do a cover band. But he hates booking. He's done that before. He hates that side of it. And he's too busy with it. Mm-hmm. So while I'm laid up in bed doing nothing, why don't you guys start a little trio? So they do this thing. It's called Camping Outlaws, and they're like a 90s grunge, whatever. Throw some other stuff in there, random cover band on Camping Outlaws. And so the arrangement is I book for shows, and they kind of stick it out with me. And also, because I'm still recovering, I can't stand for 3 hours for a show. And I'm doing country rock. I'm not going to sit down. Like, if we were doing something different, maybe I consider like a stool and do like the cool B.B. King thing. But with what I'm trying to do, that vibe ain't checking. So
that's tough, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what we do is, so they load in all my stuff for me and my roadies. The PA is mainly what I'm talking about because, again, still recovering. It's not a lazy thing. It's working on it.
Right.
And so they do that, and they play half the show at Canteen Outlaws, and they open for me. And then we all get back on stage as Copperhead Jones. And it has been awesome. It's been so cool. I have an opener everywhere I go. It creates a different dynamic. So it's not the same band up there the whole time. And because when he sings versus when I sing, it's a totally different sound. Like, it's not even close to the same. And so our styles are so different. It just really works. It's really cool. So anyways, this whole mess ended up in this really cool situation where we're really a band of brothers now, and we're family. It's awesome.
Yeah. Kudos to you for coming up with the creative solution to figure it out. Plus, you probably also create space for your original stuff, because we all know playing to bars, there's a certain segment of folks that always want to hear certain covers, and this creates a little space to where you can go, okay, now we're going to listen to some of my stuff, which is cool.
They usually have drank a lot more at this point.
Yes.
So they're more forgiving.
Right.
Or less, depending on the bar.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And but No, it's great. I basically do, and as I come out with this next album, so I'll finally have a 90-minute set list of all originals after this album comes out, which is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic.
And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. Is what I'm saying. Is they do their covers, 45 minutes, and I go on and do a 2-hour show, and I'm only doing like 6 covers out of because we go through one by one. I don't like to talk on stage too much. I still got to work on that.
Did you find that while they were doing their cover gigs, or when they were still working like that, from the time you took off to the time you were back on stage with them, like had they even gotten like better as a unit? Those 3 guys. You know what I mean? Was there even more continuity between everybody?
They were tight with their music. A lot of my music, my original stuff, is very complicated.
Gotcha.
And I didn't do that on purpose. Like, I'm not some kind of musical genius or anything. A lot of that's not my fault. Like, when you work with a producer, they do a lot of stuff to help the song. But my songs are very complicated. And so it was rough. Our first show back was not good. It was rough.
Gotcha.
You had to brush the rust off. But now we've been doing it again, and we've been rehearsing hard. Like, I'm talking hours of rehearsal. Yeah, we're back at it. We're back to where we were.
Nice.
Well, I guess I was meaning even more as buddies or whatever, because
camaraderie, absolutely.
Yeah, because I know with the layoff it's going to be rusty, but I know the more gigs especially if you got guys that gel, the more gigs, the more that's gonna gel. I was just imagining, you're already clicking, but then when, that's just more months, more gigs for your backing band basically to be gelling, even when you're in bed.
People that aren't in music don't understand that you can have musical geniuses around you, but that chemistry, that musical chemistry, like, forget the being friends part. The musical chemistry of reading body language and flowing with each other, it's a dance, and it's not an easy one. It takes a while to build that.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, but that's what makes it fun whenever when that starts to happen, though. When you've done gigs with these guys enough that you can just tell what they're about to do without saying a word.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
something to be proud of most of the time.
It really comes together when there's a big mess up and no one else knows with the band.
Yep.
Because we were able to cover our tracks. Like, there could be before, just like if there was some kind of little mess up with like rhythm or with me, or it doesn't matter. The blame doesn't matter.
Right.
But there's certain things that can be catastrophic and where the song is just done. But as you grow and mature as a musician, and you grow with your bandmates, you get to a point where you can do basically anything on stage, and the other 3 guys are going to save your ass when you mess up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a fan, strictly, I enjoy seeing the little goof ups because I want to see how they deal with it. And that sounds weird, but I obviously want folks to go out and have a good show, and I want them to, be happy with their performance. But at the end of the day, like, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is if they don't handle it well. I think there's a certain amount of professionalism that goes to being able to do that dance and make it appear effortless, which is, just takes time and a ton of practice and that chemistry and camaraderie for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you give your bass player or drummer the dirty look during a show, not cool. Other musicians, don't do that. Use your poker face. Smile, enjoy it. Yeah, it's going to piss you off, but just get through it, have fun. That's the excitement of live music. If you want to perform perfectly, put the radio on, all right? But you're here to perform live music, and that's the adrenaline rush. Is at any moment, anybody can.
One night we're gonna do a a list of our favorite bass player jokes, I think. Can we do that?
Nice.
Yeah.
We get to do that so much.
That sounds like a low blow. Just as an example of what y'all were talking about, last time I did get to see Brent Cobb. He's got a lot of words in most of his songs. He's not a rapper, but he's pretty dang close to flowing in a lot of his songs, right? Well, he got all twisted up and just started laughing, So when I looked, I turned to look just to kind of see what was going on with the crowd, as he's kind of the band's still playing, but he just stopped and had to regroup himself. He probably had a little buzz and decided, well, let me just catch the song again. And he looked over, and you could see that everybody was smiling in the crowd too, because he was smiling.
Yep.
If that makes sense. I mean, it was a second. You know what I mean? It was 5 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, just the way he handled that stood out to me. That it just made everybody human.
For sure.
Yeah, and they're and then it really makes them seem like buddies up there jamming, which is a lot more fun to support. in my just as a fan, for me anyway.
It's contagious. You don't even know who you are. You're having fun up there. I've noticed before I was pretty type A, it's got to be this way. We're going to work hard. It's going to be perfect. Then things weren't perfect. Then I got a little upset. Then I realized, I need to chill out. And so as I started doing that, we're up here. We practice. I trust you. You trust me. Let's go. Any little thing happens, let's deal with it and have fun and smile about it and laugh.
Right.
You know what? I enjoy my shows a lot better.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I guess you got any more non-serious questions, Talbo?
I do. I have a few.
Okay,
there was one in the chat. And it has to do. So I'm going to twist it a little bit, but there are 3 forbidden songs that you will get asked to play from time to time. I think Wonderwall, Wagon Wheel, and Freebird. What does it cost to get you to play one of those?
Well, if my guitar player would hurry up and learn it, I'll play Freebird for free. I love that song.
All right, fair enough.
Honestly, nobody plays it anymore because that was the thing for so long.
Right.
I think it's actually if you pull that out, people are going to love it.
Well, all the people that really love it are not the ones coming to the shows anymore, sadly.
I know.
They're my age.
They're going to the sit down 3 o'clock Sunday shows, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, for sure.
Fair enough.
Cool. Well, I'll still play it for free even if they hate it. And Wagon Wheel, that one, surprisingly, I haven't got requested Wagon Wheel that much. So that one's kind of throw $5 in there, I'll do Wagon Wheel for you. So I've probably played that song maybe 50 times in the past 3 years I've been doing this, which is not a lot at all.
Right.
And what was the other one?
Wonderwall.
Well,
Maybe.
that's going to cost some guitar lessons and lots of hate from the guitar teacher. No,
Fair enough.
That one, yeah, I like that song.
Well, good question, Judes. Thanks for the question. I have a few others, and then we'll get on to the super serious signature question that Soul's been waiting to ask all hour. So, any bucket list venues that you really would like to play? And they don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be Red Rocks, but, is there...
Well, that's everybody's, right? So that's kind of like a gimme. Red Rocks is one. I don't know if my music is fit for the Grand Ole Opry, but if it would be someday, that would be one. Other than that, man, I'd really love to just play Lava Cantina. Give me a big stage out here, local. That'd be nice. I want to play a festival, at least so I can get the video. You know what I mean? That I'm not just this little dinky bar. I want some good video content of me in front of a big crowd. Whether they're there to me or not, that would be awesome to have. Marketing is everything, by the way. And other than that, it's more so. I'd love to play Billy Bob's. That'd be cool. Love to play Billy Bob's.
Sure.
love to play Green Hall. ZZ Top played there at the time, so I'm sure I can get in someday if I make it up that path. And yeah,
That's a good list.
that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, not that you should listen to me, but I do have a piece of advice. Don't play Green Hall in July. Just FYI.
He sucks, huh?
Yeah, it's a little warm, a little warm. So, and then my last question, you actually kind of answered, and it was just your thoughts on tribute bands. But I think I know what your answer is there. So,
Well, no. I'm gonna start back.
okay,
I like cover bands. They have a purpose. I do not like tribute bands.
okay,
They're making money off the backs of other people's creativeness first. They're making a lot of money doing it. And they're also impeding original artists from sharing their music with others. I don't know how that response is going to be taken, but that's my answer.
okay. Well, just a follow up to that. What if the band they are tributing is not doing music live anymore? Does that change your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, if they're dead or they're retired,
Dying.
have at it. But it's kind of awkward to go see the Kmart style Garth Brooks when Garth Brooks is performing.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's weird. So I don't know. Like if you want to, and plus, like, why would you want to, as a musician? Like, I understand not writing songs or being a original. I get that, and that grind is hard.
Yep.
So, okay. Why would you want to pigeonhole yourself into this one artist? There's so much other good music out there that isn't yours. If you're not going to do your own music, do everybody else's stuff, not just one. You
Right.
know. That said, I would go see the Eagles tribute band.
Fair enough. That's a good answer.
I always find the ones that like dress up to a T, especially the '80s tribute
all
bands. Man, it's just creepy. I can't help but like I get creeped out by it. And I mean, like I know a few people that do tribute bands, but it's strictly the music, and they're not in a tribute band all the time. Like they have 4 or 5 other bands that they play with, but then they'll do, they'll do a Fleetwood Mac cover band called Landslide, and stuff like that, which is cool.
That gets
But they're not up there. They're not up there like Halloween style dressing up like Stevie Nicks. You know what I mean? Like they're just playing the music,
Yeah.
which is not near as creepy.
No, 100%. It's definitely creepy, but you know what? You can't argue that people want to buy that. I don't get it personally. You don't get it, but it sells because
No.
otherwise they wouldn't be making as much money as they do.
People are still going to see the Leonard Skinner tribute band on tour right there. So
That's the only
that's my
tribute
take.
band I've ever-
That's my take. That's my take. Not Copperheads. That's strictly me.
Well, and my issue is when they're taking nights from other potential, original artists. That's the part that drives me nuts. But whatever, like do your own thing, whatever.
But unfortunately,
that's the argument too. Are they really? The people that are there to see them probably aren't going to come see me. They're all about what they know.
No.
Pretty simple. They're not interested in finding something new.
no, the
That's probably
market's
true.
not the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the cover market and the tribute market is way wider than the original. Unfortunately, it's way
Way it
bigger
is.
than the original market. So anyway, all right. So the most important question of the night. It's not the most important question. I don't
Kinda
want to
is.
say all that. No. It's the goofiest question, but it's just one that we have to ask. Copperhead, what is your favorite Little Debbie cake?
Oh man. All right, so I actually got fat on this for real as a kid. I was a fat kid. And then I lost a bunch of weight from the Navy, then I got fat again. And each time it was the zebra cakes.
It was always Deborah's fault. Dang it.
The zebra cakes are the bomb.
Everybody
Okay.
loves the zebra cakes.
I know. Christmas cakes and zebra cakes have by far been the most popular. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Understood. All right. Well, well, if you don't follow Copperhead, make sure you do. Copperhead Jones on all the social stuff. Make sure you follow him on anywhere you can stream music. Hit the follow button. When he says, you know, I got new music coming out, go pre-save it. Like the reason why they say all that stuff is because it actually really matters. So yeah, definitely go and hit the follow buttons wherever you stream your music, so that when he releases music, you'll know all about it. So, yeah, is there anything else that we covered everything?
Maybe we could go out with one of his tunes. Could we do that?
Yeah. Which one? Would you want to play one, or you want me to play it on here?
Yeah, you play it on here. I go
Okay.
I go live a lot as well.
Yes.
So you guys follow me. You can hear me. That way, you know, maybe they're enticed. They want to hear me perform over here on this. They can follow me, and I'll be on tomorrow night or the next night or so.
Awesome.
That's I've been in the lives in the chat before. So which song do you want? Would you I see the as far as 2024, you have All Summer Long and Burning It Up. Which
you want to do Leaving This Town?
Okay. All right.
Awesome, man. Thanks for your time. Good to see you. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the time. We'll just let this play, and if you want to check out everybody's comments and everything.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do that.
Even though I'm content, nobody told me I would be lovesick. Even though I'm in love, it's a miserable thing. So I'm leaving this town in a cloud of dust. I'm burning that bridge and giving it up. I can hear the wind calling my name, and I don't think I can ever change. So I'm leaving this town. I'm leaving this town. I'll never say that I did it wrong, but you knew it all along. I'll never say that we had it made, but I wish you'd stayed a little longer, just a little bit longer. So I'm leaving this town in a cloud of dust. I'm burning that bridge and giving it up. I can hear the wind calling my name, and I don't think I can ever change. So I'm leaving this town. Don't wait up. I'm already gone, Don't. I said don't wait up. I'm already gone. So I'm leaving this town in a cloud of dust. I'm burning that bridge and giving it up. I can hear the wind calling my name, and I don't think I'll ever change. So I'm leaving this town, leaving this town. Nobody